Welcome, 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 everybody. I am so excited that you're here. I know most of you are used to us coming to you live on location to host these wonderful travel talks. And this is our very first virtual travel talk. And we plan on having these more consistently every single week or every second week. So number one, if you have any questions, please make sure to type them in the chat and we'll get to those towards the end of the presentation. And for those of you who may not know who the heck I am, my name is Melissa Mackey. I started Travel Chicks back in 2010. And since then, I cannot count how many group trips that we have organized and tours we've put together and passengers that we've helped create these incredible moments for them, because it's just been too many. And one of the things we love is special trips that are only offered, you know, in a specific time frame. And that is why you're here today. Today, I have the pleasure of welcoming Gina from Gocollette Vacations. Gina, are you there?
Hello, yeah, I'm here.
Okay, just wanted to make sure the audio is working.
All these things popping up. Yeah, I'm here. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. I know things look a little different. I'm used to being face-to-face, but I guess this is our face-to-face these days. So it's good. And I'm excited to kind of share something that some of you may know about and some of you may be learning about for the first time today.
Yeah, and well, I guess without further ado, this is being recorded. So anybody who, actually one second, you know what I'm gonna do? I am going to broadcast live on our Facebook page. Might as well.
Go for it. I like it.
Share on a page that you manage. Yes, Travel Chicks. Next. Preparing live streaming. Let's see.
Oh,
Go on Facebook. Okay, so we are live on Facebook. We're live here, and today we are talking about this incredible opportunity to experience what it was like back in the life of Jesus, back in the life of like just getting into that emotional place, like the transformation that we can't even probably fathom or imagine with our own mind. And that is the Oberammergau Passion Play. And today, Gocollette Vacations, who is, you know, putting on this tour, we have Gina with us, and Gina is going to share about a very specific tour that we decided was really perfect for our audience. And this might, you know, this might be for you and it might not, but maybe you know somebody who it might be for. And let me tell you, I want you to listen in and hear what Gina has to say, because this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. This play only happens every 10 years, and the entire community and village actually transforms to like become this stuff. So without further ado, Gina, take it away.
All right, I'll take the reins here. So thank you for introducing me. I am with the company Gocollette. I'm so grateful to be in front of all of you. I'm happy to share a little bit about what our company has and to introduce to you or kind of dive deeper into this Oberammergau opportunity. So I'm going to talk a little bit about our company, why you should travel with us, and if you have heard of us, awesome. If you haven't, maybe just a little insight into guided travel and how it is kind of applicable for all age groups, which is awesome. So we've already kind of welcomed ourselves. I'm the Alberta and Saskatchewan BDM rep, so I'm in charge of those two territories, and we've got Melissa that has created this opportunity for all of us. So on behalf of Travel Chicks and Gocollette, we say thank you for joining us. We know it's crazy out there, so we do appreciate you taking time to just sit back and listen. I do want to show a video about our products, so let me make sure I have my audio shared and we will see what Gocollette has to offer.
Since 1918, Colette has provided tours that take people around the country and around the world. From our humble beginnings, leading guided bus tours down the East Coast, to luxurious, all-inclusive explorations of some of the world's most exotic locations, we craft unparalleled travel adventures. We are there to help our guests every step of the way on their travel journey. From finding the perfect destination, to securing flights and hotel stays, to creating enriching cultural experiences. All our guests have to worry about is enjoying their trip. Colette is celebrating its 100th year as a family-owned company. We've continued to build our expertise, our connections, and our selection of tours so that we can make all of our guest travel dreams a reality. It's time to see the world with Colette.
It's definitely just time to see the world again. That's how I feel. Anytime I watch this video, it takes me to all those places, and I'm just counting down the days that we can actually go out and embrace the world again. So Colette hasn't just sat back during this time. We've definitely made sure that when the green light goes, we are ready for that opportunity for you guys to travel again. So a little bit about us. Some of you, like I said, may know about Colette Travel, and if not, this is just a little peek into what we do have to offer. We are guided travel. We make sure that your experience from start to finish is taken care of. So you select the trip with us, and we make sure everything falls into place from that. We have 4-star accommodations, hotel to hotel baggage. Honestly, you can book now, pack your suitcase, and leave your house and enjoy a sedan service to the airport and return with that sedan service home. And we do make sure that you are taken care of the whole way. What sets us apart is, what do we do? What are we a part of? Why do we make this happen? Well, what we do is we have professional tour managers. So when you join us on an adventure, we make sure that we have a local expert and a tour manager that is with you 100% of the time. So you have that hidden gem connection throughout your tour. We are known for having the best in the business. So our tour managers are definitely what sets us apart. My parents did a trip to Morocco last year, and they have the tour manager's email, and they're contacting him daily to see what it's like, what's going on in Morocco. So it is definitely a tool that we use, and a lifelong connection, which is pretty remarkable when you think of booking a trip. Another thing that Colette offers is choice on tour. So this is included in your trip, and there is one on the trip that we're talking about today. It gives you a little bit of voice and choice. So you have 2 options provided. They're included in that trip. They happen simultaneously. One's a little bit more active, one may not be. And you just kind of have that chance to pick and choose, which is something that's nice to be available on a guided trip. Another thing is our culinary inclusions. We know that we're not just traveling to get away. I mean, we kind of are now, but we aren't just traveling and eating to sustain ourselves. We're finding locations that have those rich culinary experiences. So a lot of our planning comes from, what can we experience? How can we dive into that culture? How can we really feel like we are rooted in that authentic experience? So culinary inclusions is a huge thing that we do try and implement in all of our tours. And our amazing accommodations. We're not just finding the center of the city and putting you there. We're finding locations that make sense, that have the enriched environment and the cultural experience. So an example for that is, one of our hotels in Ireland is actually a castle. So you do stay in a castle that's not in the middle of Dublin. It's removed, but it's also just something that you'll come back and talk about for forever, that you got to actually stay in a castle, which is pretty remarkable. Another thing that we want to talk about quickly is our travel protection plan. Obviously, I want to kind of talk about the elephant in the room. COVID-19 is still a thing. It is something that we are not taking lightly, and we have the luxury of saying that our travel protection plan does cover COVID-19. So we do touch base a little bit about that, and it also makes sure that you are protected on trip. So baggage, medical emergencies, anything that you can think of, we've got you covered. It also provides an up to 24 hours before trip departure cancellation. Any reason your cat has a bad hair day, you can cancel 24 hours before you go if you do have our travel protection plan. We get it, the world's uncertain, we don't know what's going on, but if you do have that travel protection, we definitely make sure that you are taken care of from start to finish. A little bit more about that, it adds flexibility. So from now until the end of next year, you have an opportunity to change the date, because we do know that things may change. Unfortunately, with the Oberammergau right now, it's scheduled for 2022. It does only happen every 10 years, so they've bumped it back 2 years. So I don't think that they'll change it if all goes well. So just some things to think about. And our Travel Well experience, this is something that we have created throughout this whole quarantine situation. We just want you to know that we are taking steps that are taking care of our guests. We're not just sitting back and waiting for everybody else to figure it out. We want to make sure that when you choose to travel with us, and when we can travel again together, we are doing everything that we need to make sure that this is a safe and enjoyable opportunity for you. So we've got the cancel for any reason waiver, we've got pre-tour health screenings, we've got private sedan services, so that picks you up from your house, brings you to the airport, and in return. Air travel is all taken care of. On tour, we're doing smaller groups. Your tour manager is constantly being educated. We've got face masks, we're cleaning those motor coaches, we're in contact with those vendors, making sure those restaurants and hotels know everything about the COVID protocols to make sure that you're in safe hands everywhere you go. And just really making sure those on-tour experiences are aligned with those protocols. Lots of information, I know. We'll get to the tour here shortly. So the one that we selected for you guys today is Switzerland, Austria, and Bavaria. The dates that we kind of were thinking were May 13th to the 22nd of 2022. So it is a year and a bit away, but it is something that only will take place in 2022. So we do want to make sure that you guys have access to that now. Featuring Oberammergau Passion Play. So that's the whole reason why we do want to showcase this, because it is something that will only take place in 2022 and then again in 10 years time. Fingers crossed. A little highlight into what we can expect and what we can see with this trip. As the highlights, you get to take part of the Golden Pass, which is just spectacular in itself. It's a high-speed train that takes you right through that gem of nature. You get to go through the gardens, the old town section in Bern, and the cobblestone streets. Again, you just get to really be in those Alps, which is amazing. And then, of course, the Oberammergau Passion Play. So how it looks here, it's a 10-day tour. I believe you have 14 meals included. I know there's 5 dinners, and a lot of those restaurants are selected as those. I know whenever I go on a trip, I look up the hidden gems or the kept secrets or the best kept secrets of those locations. And that's kind of what Colette's already done. They've found those top things or those travel priorities, and they've made sure that we've implemented them in this trip. So as you can see, you fly into Zurich here and you fly out of Munich. You definitely get a nice wide spread of variety throughout this tour, and you also have an opportunity to see the Oberammergau Passion Play at the end of your trip. So I'm going to go through a little day-by-day breakdown of what this tour will look like, and then we can kind of talk logistics at the end of it. So if you do have questions, put them in that chat box. We can answer them as we go or at the end. And just sit back and enjoy what will possibly and hopefully be a trip that you take in 2022. So your tour begins here in Bern. It's the capital of Switzerland. It's beautiful. It's nestled in the Swiss countryside here. It's the cobbled old town section. You get to enjoy this preserved residential area that has been here for over 500 years. So it's definitely held its historical quaintness. That evening, you get to enjoy your first welcome traveler dinner. This is a local cuisine that has been hand-selected to really kind of throw you into the culture of that area. So you get the traditional cheese fondue and get to meet your fellow travelers on this adventure. The next day, you'll be in Bern and you get to enjoy the panoramic tour of the fine city. Not many cities have managed to retain their historical features quite like this. This looks like the village that it was 500 years ago, and they've just kept that pristine historical vibe to it. Throughout your sightseeing, you'll see the Swiss Parliament building. You'll see the Bear Park, which is also quite interesting. I didn't realize that it had such a historical kind of connection to this. The founder of this city is known to have killed the bear in that area, and then it's created kind of their stamp on the territory. And now they have a bear park that kind of preserves that, and they do have those in the territory, which is kind of cool to think of. You also get a chance to experience the rose gardens of Bern, and you get to visit the Gothic cathedral. Lots to see. The remainder of the day you have at leisure, so you're not going to be through a tour the whole time. You have a chance to see the town for what it has, and you also have an option to take the Gürther mountain cable ride up to see a beautiful view of the landscape of Bern. The next day, you're going to travel along the shores of Lake Geneva here. So this is where you actually get to see the medieval Chateau de Chillon. And this is a castle residence. It's preserved. It used to be a prison, actually, and they hold their weapons and everything there. So you get a little tour of the outside of it and just like another historical connection to that, which is beautiful. The next experience that you have is that you get to go through the alpine views on the ride of the Golden Pass panoramic trail. So you get to kind of rip through the beautiful Alps and see the scenic views from here. More than just a train ride, definitely. You immerse yourself in the breathtaking scenery, and you're just whisked through the lush of the countryside here. You discover the delightful ambiance of the world-famous alpine ski resort on this tour. And this is located in the Bernese Oberland region of the Swiss Alps. So this is actually known for a location that all of the royals and the celebrities of the area go to kind of resort and really enjoy that Alp vibe. And then the next day you set out to the Lucerne, which is the Swiss paradise on the lake. So this is authentically what it looks like. It's absolutely stunning. The view throughout is just spectacular. You enjoy a leisurely paced tour of the old town here. You explore the hidden treasures of the city. So it has more than 800 years of history that you get to spend the day exploring through. You see the chapel bridge. You get to go to the famous 17th century paintings, and you notice that the tower is just located on this water tour. So it's quite beautiful and just picturesque that it's all surrounded by this water. You see the Lion Monument, you see the town hall, the history is there, and it's definitely prevalent. En route to Innsbruck this afternoon, you get to take your way to the Lucernstein. Make your way to Lucernstein. It's the smallest and it's the richest German-speaking country in the world, and it is the only country to lie entirely within the Alps. So another quaint little village of Lucernstein. You spend the day in the beautiful Innsbruck, situated in the Austrian Alps. And here's where you have an opportunity to pick and choose. So these, like I said, take place simultaneously. You get to pick. So you and your partner can choose different options. Maybe this is when you need a little bit of a break from each other. One of you can choose the historical and the cultural tour, and then the other option is the architectural tour as well. So you can embark on those tours focusing on the structures and the unique architecture of the community. You can see here that this is the famous ski jump that was used for both of the Winter Olympics that the city hosted. So just different kind of aspects to the city, and they take place at the same time and are included in this tour. The next day, you travel through the picturesque Austrian countryside to Salzburg. This is the birthplace of Mozart, so you'll see a little bit of connection there. This is also the setting that Sound of Music was filmed. A Christmas classic in our home, so I'm excited to see that. It's kind of cool that this is part of it. You enjoy a leisurely paced walking tour here through the Mirabell Gardens. Absolutely stunning here. This is where several scenes from The Sound of Music took place. I don't know if you can remember those. And this is another famous site in the area. This is actually Mozart's birthplace. So just one of many of the highlights from this beautiful city. So you continue to explore and enjoy the Salzburg famous streets and sights during the afternoon. Perhaps you take a horse and carriage ride, or you relax at a coffee shop and just watch the world pass by in a completely different mindset. You complete your day here with a delightful dinner that is in this restaurant is over 1,000 years old. It's a St. Peter's restaurant, and it's the oldest in Austria, and it's still owned by the monks. So this is one of those restaurants that is definitely difficult to get into, but if you travel with Colette on this evening, you will have an opportunity to enjoy dinner here. You cross the border into Bavaria the next day, into this quite quaint village of Oberammergau. So Oberammergau is the village. The Passion play takes place in there, and it is called Oberammergau for that. This is the main event, the Passion play. So this afternoon, you witnessed the performance of this Passion play. It was the original performance dated back all the way to 1634. So during the 30-year war, Oberammergau was spared the Black Plague. And for this reason, the citizens of Oberammergau vowed that every 10 years they would redo the play to honor the last days of the life of Christ. So it takes place every 10 years. It was scheduled for 2020, but given the circumstances, they've chose to postpone it to 2022. A little fun fact about this is all of the actors and actresses are from the village of Oberammergau. And to lead to its authenticity, the actors, they grow out their beards and their hair a year approaching the performances to have that authentic vibe. So I'm curious to see if they've maintained that and they'll continue to grow their beards out until 2022, or if they'll do a little trim and restart. The next day, or a little bit more about this actually, so there is an intermission. So in the middle of it, you and your fellow travel mates will go for dinner, and then you do return back to finish the play. So it is definitely a full day event. It takes the whole day to express that story and really get that full Passion play experience. So it's definitely once in a lifetime opportunity that I think it's a little blessing in disguise that there are more people that are going to get the opportunity to see this in 2022. The next day, you begin your visit to this palace here, the Lindenhof Palace. It's very artistic and stylistically complex. Behind the Baroque facade is the Rococo world art here. The ornaments and the sculptures of the elements showing the workmanship. Later, you enjoy time exploring the medieval Lucerne. So this is the romantic town here in the foothills of the Bavarian Alps. And then on your adventure, as it continues, you make a special picture stop here at the Neuschwanstein Castle. So this is the Germans' most famous castle. It's inspired by the castle of, or it's the inspiration for the castle of Sleeping Beauty. And before you join your fellow guests again for your farewell dinner, this is one of your last picturesque stops to a very memorable trip. So your tour ends in Munich, but the memories definitely will last a lifetime for this adventure experiencing the Oberammergau Passion Play. I've got one more video to kind of wrap this up, share with you a little insight as to what the Passion Play will entail, and then we'll finish up with some questions. Pretty powerful. I think it's definitely an opportunity that if you have the ability to, it'll definitely be a once in a lifetime, almost like a life-changing experience, to be honest. So for me, I'm excited that it's offered again in 2022 to give a lot of people the opportunity that maybe didn't know about it, a chance to see. But I think it will definitely take your breath away if you do get to see it in person. So a couple of things to wrap up that remind you of what Gocollette does have to offer. We do have that hometown pickup. So if it is something that you choose to book air with us, we can arrange that private sedan. If you want to personalize your adventure, you are going to Europe. So if you do want to add some pre and post night stays, you can reach out to Melissa. She can make sure all those things take place. Elite air, all of those things that you would add on to personalize your adventure can definitely be applicable to this as well. No worries, travel protection is something that we do just want to remind you. If you do have other travel protection, that's awesome. It is definitely something that is strongly encouraged in this day and age. But our travel protection plan will have you covered on tour as well. So medical assistance, evacuation, and baggage loss is all something that is something to consider. Our loyalty program, so if you have traveled with Gocollette before, thank you. We do see that a lot of people do choose to travel with us again. So we're omitting 2020. So if you traveled with us in the last 2 years, then we will honor $150 off. And 3 years ago, we'll give you that $100 off. And just a friendly reminder to check your passports because we haven't used them recently. So you will need an active passport to go across the border here. No visas required, but the passport must be valid for up to 8 months beyond your return date. So just make sure that those are all up to snuff. So don't miss out right now. Gocollette is having their biggest sale ever. So right now, the Oberammergau, any trip with Oberammergau has 10% off. I know that Melissa has shared a link with you guys that you can reserve your spot today. So the deposit for this will be $550, and then you can have the optional of adding on that travel protection plan and different add-ons to meals and different things like that if you do choose. But from now until the end of the month, you have a chance to enjoy that 10% discount, which is huge to add on to that tour. for Oberammergau. I know it's in a couple years, definitely, but it's something that we do need to make sure that we do plan for our future. And I do believe that when the travel industry has the green light to go, it's going to be kind of whoever has seats secured are going to be the lucky ones to actually get to go. So I think that if you have the opportunity to book now and reserve that spot, if anything does change, you know that Colette will definitely have your back, and we will honor that cancel for any reason if you do have that trip protection plan. But we can also kind of go from there. There's multiple tours that include the Oberammergau Passion Play. This is just one that we thought kind of covered it all and gives you a little taste of that culture and also that opportunity. So if you do have any more questions about different trips, you're more than welcome to reach out to us. So what are you waiting for? You can book now with Melissa. You save 10% on that Oberammergau Passion Play opportunity, and get something to add to that bucket list to make sure you're looking forward to in a few months' time.
Okay, so I had put in the comments or the chat the actual link. So if you did want to reserve your spot, you can click that link and just follow the steps that it guides you through. I did have some questions from people that they were asking how many people are on typically the Gocollette tours.
So generally speaking, our coaches have 46 to 48, and we're running with about 30% less. So
Okay.
that being said, this is in a year and a half, so things could go back to normal. I would hate to say that we will be still running at 30% less occupancy and then you'll go on your trip and it's a full coach. Generally speaking, I think our tours do run up to, the coaches can hold 60 people. So we will never fill a coach to max capacity because we do value personal space to begin with. But right now we are filling tours 30 to 35% less.
Okay. And yeah, I mean, who knows what's gonna be
I know.
the realm 1.5 years from now. One of the other questions is if vaccine certificates are requirements and it is not something we as the individual choose to do we get 100% of deposit back?
Okay, that is a great question. I am not the insurance broker. I would personally love to say if things are changing in that regard, I would hope that our travel company takes that into consideration. I hope that it's your choice, right? I would hope that we can be able to travel with the option of either or. I believe if it is mandatory and that is not known right now, that we should, if we're acting the way we have acted in the past with our terms and conditions, we would definitely honor that because you're booking a trip without that implemented right now.
Yeah.
Again, things are so unknown, but just based on how Gocollette has handled themselves up until this point, I would believe that if you booked now and things change, they would honor that.
Okay. And I guess the caveat to that would also be the travel protection.
Yes.
Because you shared that you can cancel up to 24 hours, no questions asked. That
Yeah.
would be, I guess, the caveat.
Yeah.
Okay. And another question I have here is when should people book by?
For the tour, like if you want to take advantage of the sale goes to the beginning of December. So if that's something that is in your interest, then for sure, book now before the end of the month. As for tours regarding Oberammergau, we'll have it's first come, first serve basis. So I have a feeling that seats are going to definitely fill from now until the end of the month, just because people want to take advantage of that sale. But if it's something that you're not worried about, and then at the beginning of January, you want to look into it, it is just see what's available. But of course, sooner better than later, because it is first come, first serve basis.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing too, to keep in mind is Oberammergau, they only have a certain number of seats in that theater that they sell for, you know, X number of performances every single day. So these are just some things to keep in mind. And what I can tell you, when we were putting the web page together for the deposits, there is actually a lot of tours that are already completely sold out.
It's crazy. So how it happened was when everything kind of came out about COVID, this was obviously taking place this summer. So you had three options with Colette. You could either get a travel voucher or money back, or you could rebook your trip. And it was amazing to me that I think it was over 80% of our guests chose to rebook. They just said, hold my date, but move it to 2022. So we do have a lot of guests that are eager for this. And if you look on our website and you go Gocollette, book now, you find the dates that you want. It is kind of the shoulder season to summer, and then the summer months and a little bit after. A lot of them are sold out. So it is definitely something that has a lot of interest. And I do think if it has any relevance to you at all, it's something that I would, if it is piquing any interest, I would definitely say book now. You can reevaluate. If you do choose to book retail with us, you do have 30 days to get that deposit back. So if you do change your mind, you can also have that option. But it is just something to kind of consider.
Yeah. And well, the next question was, do you think most trips will sell out? I'm going to answer that, and I'm going to say yes. It's in 2022. And as we know, with what's going on in the world right now, there is so much pent up travel bugs in so many human beings on the planet right now. As soon as all restrictions are lifted, and people feel good about traveling, it's going to be off the hook.
Yeah, I agree. And I get it. It's hard to see that now, but from this side of things and watching this company kind of like Colette hasn't stopped there. We get new emails for tours every week. Like to me, that speaks volumes to the confidence of this industry. And we know that when it's go time, it's going to be like people, the phone will not stop because, oh crap, I forgot to book my trip or I want to get in on this. I see a question here that says, does Colette offer last minute deals? Generally speaking, I don't know when the sales come out. It's pretty strategic with how they do have their sales. I've never seen a sale happen for Oberammergau before the departures. So I would definitely take advantage of the sales when they are available.
Mm-hmm. And here's another thing. As long as we get a minimum of 10 people on this trip or on another specific date that includes the passion play, one of the travel chicks is going to be going on the trip as well. So that also adds a lot of confidence in the tours that we are, sharing with the public.
Yeah.
And May 13th to the 22nd for all you Canadians is a great date because it falls over May long weekend. So, I mean, it could mean an extra couple days for you to explore around, get to the destination, the starting destination. Yeah. Okay. So I just want to see if we have any other questions. The link I did post in the comments. I'll also put my email in this chat. If you do want to reach out to me personally, it's melissa@travelchicks.ca. And otherwise, head over to the site, which is oberammergau.travelchicks.ca/deposit2022 for 2022 and get your registration in, because there's the next date after May 13th. There was only 2 spots left, and then I think half of June is already sold out. There's many for July and August that are also sold out. So any questions, any more questions that anybody has? No? Awesome. Well, Gina, thank you
So
for
good.
joining us today. And what is the value of going through Travel Chicks versus Colette directly? Well, we have like a personal relationship with Colette. And so what is the value? The value pretty much is that you have one point of contact as opposed to Colette, where, you have a travel agent fending for you.
Yeah, I would definitely say the beauty is working with a travel agent is then they can be the ones on hold. That's always what I say. Let Melissa sit on hold and get those questions answered for you. Of course, Colette's there all the time, but we do encourage working with a travel agent because then all your questions, you have one go-to person. She knows exactly what's going on. She knows the dates. She knows the deposits. You don't have to worry about it.
It's your time at the end of the day.
Exactly.
I've been in this industry for like 16 years. And the thing is, so many consumers have just gone to book their own travel. And you know what the number one thing is that I keep hearing is, oh, I just had to wait on WestJet, or I just had to wait on, Air Canada or Colette for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Get your
I
time.
mean, we try our best to make sure those times are low, but I mean, 20 minutes of your time can be 20 minutes of Melissa's, right?
How much is the cost of the trip? I do not have that in front of me right now. Deposit is $550, and I think it was $43.64 for the entire 10 days, and that doesn't include airfare. So you would have to fly there, which I would say on average is about $1,200 for a flight, roughly. I mean, it depends again when you book. Right now, you can't book an air flight for that long in advance anyways. So.
And that is something that if you're interested in, Colette can definitely do start to finish air packages with us. I don't know offhand how much those flights would be, but that's something that Colette can take advantage of, or take advantage of Colette doing that. I know sometimes prices will vary. We do our best to make sure that we have the best availability for you. But again, the beauty of doing air with Colette is then they're dealing with the airlines. You're not. So it's just another thing where if you choose to cancel your trip for whatever reason, you have that trip protection plan with us. Colette will make sure that all of those deals are figured out. You don't have to worry about any travel voucher or anything like that. So it is the convenience, and that's what the whole company kind of stands for. We want to make sure that everything from start to finish is taken care of for you. So if it is something that you have in your budget to book those things with us. And another perk of booking air with us is if you are within 120 kilometers of an airport, Calgary, Edmonton, we can offer that private sedan service. So that is something that's always nice to kind of consider. Ease of mind from start to finish.
Yeah. Yeah, and I see another question. Is there a solo supplement? So I'll let you answer that. And before I do, that's one of the bonuses of working with Travel Chicks, because our whole basis is helping solo people find friends to take these trips with, because there's many single people in the world who want to go on these trips, but they don't necessarily have a friend or a spouse or a colleague that can join them. And so we pair people up. Why? Because that gives you a discount on, double occupancy as opposed to paying for single occupancy. And I don't know the answer. Is there
there is. So generally speaking, if you do choose to travel on your own, there will be that supplemental cost, because the hotel numbers are different they don't have as many one room occupancies. I don't know what that is off the top of my head.
Different for every trip and tour.
It is. It varies definitely, but I love that you guys can find people to travel together, because I do think it is definitely a nice benefit to have. But yes, it would be a little bit more to supplement that solo cost. But if you can find a friend, that's awesome.
Cool. Okay. Thank you for joining us today, Gina. And thank you to all of you for sticking around and learning about what is coming up in the future. And any questions, feel free to email me, or if you do want to hold your spot, secure it at the website that we provided.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Enjoy your afternoon, everybody.